Hello and welcome to another episode of That's Dota. We're going to be casting yet another game of our
Radiant
friends in the
team
Secret Forum as they
ban.
take on just a random team in Captain's Mode. My name is Gus and I'm joined today by Mark. Mark, how are you doing? We just after coming from our own Captain's Mode where we had a quite enjoyable game.
That wasn't Captain's Mode, that was his Captain's Draft, wasn't it?
Oh, it was close enough.
Yeah.
10
but
seconds
it was a
to
weird
go.
game. Anti-mage mid.
Yeah, not something that you really
5
expect to see,
seconds.
but it was interesting. We had a lot of fun. It was good.
Reserve
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, good fun.
And that's a completely standard first ban coming out
Dials
from
ban.
the guys in Secret Form, the Life Stealer.
Radiance ban.
Someone that we've come to expect that we're going to see out in first ban, first big kind of material.
Yeah, I think he's kind of slipped off the pro scene a little bit in terms of first ban, first pick. But
Dire
yeah, in
team
terms of I
ban.
think these games that we cast, he's always kind of first on the list. Really, nobody wants to fight a hero with a built-in BKB.
Yeah. And he is such a hero that is, I think, there is so many counters to him,
Radiance
but people
pick.
are just afraid because it is kind of one of those heroes that if he gets near you, he's going to do a lot of damage, and he is quite scary to go against. We see also then the Bat Ride and the OD, again, these are standard bans, and the Viper coming out will be banned as well. So kind of it looks like they've gone, there's 3 mids coming out, and then a pretty strong carry coming out.
Yeah. So I mean, heroes that have been left in the pool, there's quite a lot of them. I mean, there's a Lich still there.
10
Other heroes
seconds
that
to
kind
go.
of there's an alchemist.
am Shadow Shaman.
Dyer's
Now,
pick.
if anyone was watching the episode just prior to this, we saw a Captain Bassoon take up a Shadow Shaman mid. Is he possibly reeling from yesterday's game? Is he considering that he needs to take it up? He needs to prove himself that he can play this hero and he can land those wards?
I think in fairness to him, once he kind of missed a few ward traps early on in the mid game, but I think as the game progressed, his ward placement was really
Dyer's
good.
pick.
But yeah, I expect this to probably be a Shadow Shaman mid for Captain Bassoon.
Now, taking a look, the first pick coming up from the guys on the Dire team is an Undying. Now, there's 2 possibilities here. Either someone just wants to play the Undying, or is it possible that they are early picking up something to go against a tri lane? Are they afraid that Shadow Shaman is the
Radiance
first
pick.
in a tri lane?
Maybe, although they could be going for a trial in themselves. They picked up an Undying and a Venomancer, so you have Venomous Gale and then Venomous Gale into Tombstone. That's quite a lot of slow. If you pick up a hero then with a stun, like a Chaos Knight, or a slow, it's like Sven as well with the stun, that could be a potent trial lane.
Exactly, just because it keeps them right there in position. And Tombstone, I find,
10
it is such a
seconds
powerful
to go.
skill. It is so dependent on your placement, though. You want to make sure you're getting it right in the thick of
5
things, but you want it kind
seconds.
of away at the same time. You want it so it's free to spawn away. It's zombies coming out, just keeping everyone
Radiance
slowed.
ban.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see team fights now. With a Tombstone will be placed down. We're going to have poison wards and plague wards rather, and then we're going to also have the mass serpent ward coming out from Shadow Shaman on the other side. So it's going to be a fairly hectic battleground when the team fights start kicking off.
I wonder, it'll be interesting to see
10
because the managed amp
seconds
coming
to
out from the
go.
Flash Golem mixed in with just all that poison damage coming out from the Venomancer should do
5
actually a lot of
seconds.
damage for everyone it catches.
Reserve time.
Crystal Maiden being picked up as well. I think that's she's a great hero, as we've said
Dyer's
before.
ban.
So versatile. One of the really nice things about her as well is if she's in a tri lane and she disappears off the map, a lot of kind of teams kind of will spot that and be
10
afraid and
seconds
kind
to
of
go.
back to a tower. But the beauty of a Crystal Maiden is she can disappear out of a tri lane and then
5
go into the jungle
seconds.
and start jungling. So not only is she getting
Radiant
solo
team
experience in the jungle,
ban.
but she's also scaring the other team into kind of playing a bit more safely if they do notice she's gone.
Yeah, exactly. We see a ban coming out from the Alchemist. It's possible they're considering that this Alchemist, because of his stun, with those 2 slows, it means he can channel out a
10
huge stun and he can get
seconds
it
to
off
go.
easily. And then we see the Weaver coming banned out from the Dire team.
Dire team ban.
It's
Yeah,
as you were saying, you
interesting
can
bans.
even see the bans that are coming out. They're kind of on the money, is what you were saying there, Mark. Is the Radiant team? They're afraid of that lane. They know
Yeah,
that
I think
they
they've
need a stun.
identified. I think they've identified there might be a tri
10
lane coming up here with the
seconds
Undying and
to
the
go.
Venomancer, and I mean it's a really good lane. They have a lot of damage. Venomancer is
5
really damaging, and
seconds.
also from decay that damage is going to go even further. And then they both have slow. So what they
Reserve
don't have
time.
is a stun, and really the third pickup should be a hero with a stun. So yeah,
Dyer's
they're
pick.
wisely banning out carries with stuns.
Yeah. Now, Void is a hero that I don't really see banned too often in Captain's Blood. I think he's kind of a I don't know what to ban kind of ban, if that makes sense. Is people know that he can do a lot of damage if he gets his farm, but he's lost his place. I don't really see him play too much.
No, he's not played that much. I think he's
Radiance
just so useless in the early game. Really, he can't really do that much. And in lane, he's one of the weakest heroes in lane. He offers absolutely nothing to it. He just has to sit back and last it. But I think maybe this ban might be coming up because they're worried about the way his Chronosphere interacts with like Shadow Shaman's Serpent Wards and Crystal Maiden's Freezing Field. If you land like a 4 or 5 man Chrono, you have the wards up, and then Crystal Maiden starts hitting the Freezing Field. That's a lot of damage going up. So maybe they're just worried about that.
Now it kind of looks like that the guys in the Gyre team, that they're forgoing the whole stun. They're going for have a stun out in that Gyrocopter, but it's not reliable. But with those slows, it means he can get in and he can get off his Rocket Barrage and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, this hero could be in the tri lane. It also could be a hero in mid, maybe.
Dyer's Pit.
But I imagine if it is a tri lane, it'll probably be a safe tri lane. And now they've picked up the Lone Druid, it looks like we'll probably be seeing Lone Druid in the off lane. So we're probably expecting a tri lane coming up from the Radiant as well.
I think we're in for a bit of a treat. I think we might be seeing an Innie Lone Druid, and this is a hero that he has really been practicing on, and it's amazing to watch.
10
yeah, we
seconds
actually, I
to
think
go.
one of our first casts, he was playing Lone Druid. And
5 seconds.
yeah, I mean, he did really, really well in the offlane. He was up against a Dragon Knight and Alina, I think, two heroes that really can't do that much to him. And I think he identified that, and he really dominated the lane. But
or it could have even been an anti-mage, because I do remember that he caught out the anti-mage a couple of times with the Entangle.
Right. Yeah, you're right, it was the anti-mage. But I mean, I think it's a different circumstance this time. He needs to be a bit careful about getting caught out here, because if he does get caught with Venomous Gale, I mean, the homing missile is a stun, fair enough. It's not a great stun, but what really, I think, the key is to slow him enough and lower his health enough so that Rocket Barrage, excuse me, Rocket Barrage can do all the damage.
Yeah, this is a strange pickup.
Yeah,
just after that coming up, we could be seeing the Tiny going in the lane with the tri lane and the Gyrocopter mid, possibly.
Yeah, this could be a Gyrocopter mid. It'll be interesting, I think, if we see an off lane coming up, then yeah, I think that's the lanes. But who knows? I mean, they could be going for a 2-1-2 strategy here.
Yeah. We've been known to completely early call these tri lanes, so hopefully we'll see. Possibly we might get it right, and we might get this tri lane going in the way we see it.
10 seconds to go.
Now, what hero do you think that they can pull out for the Radiant team? What's going to kind of be effective in this tri lane?
I think the Radiant need 2 more heroes. They need another support that would work well with Crystal Maiden. Because I think they are going to tri lane. It might be a jungle, but I'd say it'll be a tri lane because they have the Crystal Maiden down. I reckon Shadow Shaman's going to come mid. So you want someone like Alina, a Shadow Demon, heroes like that really, who can Visage maybe. I don't think we probably won't see him, but a Visage would be absolutely perfect. And then you want a carry as well, and preferably a carry. I mean, if you're going to tri lane and you're going to have a tri lane with aggressive heroes like Crystal Maiden, you're going to want a carry that can support that aggression. So someone like a Luna or Juggernaut. Lifesteal has been banned out, but heroes like that that can, they don't just sit back and passively farm. If something is set up, they can go in and do some damage. Maybe a Kunkka perhaps.
I'm going to have to disagree just with the particular lineup they have at the moment for just you were saying the Shadow Demon. I kind of think that Shadow Demon doesn't necessarily, and there's a Juggernaut as you predict. Shadow Demon works great with heroes that need kind of wind up time for the stuns, like let's say the Lina, the Mirana. I don't think it would make sense to have a Shadow Demon with the Crystal Maiden. She already has that slow, that's instant. They need someone who's going to have a follow-up stun. As you say, I think the Lina makes more sense here.
10 seconds to go.
Well, the beauty about a Shadow Demon is, I mean,
5
he sets
seconds.
it up, so, I mean, you don't need to max out Frostbite. You max out Crystal Nova instead, and the Crystal Maiden then becomes the damaging hero.
Time.
So this is the beauty of the Crystal Maiden is just how versatile she can be. If you get a good disruption in, and then Crystal Maiden follows in with Crystal Nova, and then you keep spamming. You've your carry then coming in as well. That's a lot of damage, and then the illusions put out by the disruption do quite a lot of damage. It's not just a setup skill. I think it could work.
Yeah, no, it's my kind of rationale is the fact is that that's X amount of seconds where the hero, I suppose, is impervious, is that he's not getting damage. Whereas if you had someone like a Juggernaut who can easily just get in there and he can do his Battle Fury and just do the damage. So if you're kind of using the Shadow Demon as the setup, I kind of feel as you're wasting that potential damage. Whereas with the Frostbite, and that's a Pugna bit of pickup, that's
Radiant
interesting, that's
spit.
possibly their mid. This, I think you might actually be right in the fact is that they could be going for a 2-on-2 here.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the lanes now. I imagine the Gyrocopter will be in the safe lane,
Yeah.
probably with an Undying, and then we're going to have a tiny Venomancer in the off lane with a Pugna mid. I think that's going to be it. So I think the last night pickup from the Radiant Dweller should be another support, basically another support that can help out
10
in
seconds
early
to
game
go.
ganking, because they have the Crystal Maiden and they have the Juggernaut.
5
Like
seconds.
you can see, I think they had that Pugna in mind. You can see the last band that came out was the Storm Spirit, who would kind of just ruin Pugna's
Reserve
day.
time.
Well, I mean, the Netherward, could be quite lethal against a Storm Spirit who keeps, he's going to keep it. He's putting out, he's going to keep putting out, like spells and stuff. And also, I mean, the life drain with the Aghanim Scepter starts to drain. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So I get the feeling now that they're rotating now. They still are doing this tri-lane that we've discussed, but it's going to be the Shadow Shaman, Crystal Maiden with the Juggernaut, possibly in the safe lane, with the Lone Druid in the off lane. The Death Prophet will go in mid. This will be an interesting matchup to see the Death Prophet against the Pugna. So starting off, just introducing these two teams, we're going to start off with the Radiant, my guys in the Secret Forum. Starting out, we have Haberdashery Dancing
I'd
on the
get ready
Juggernaut,
if I were you.
followed by Ainsley War Chariot on the Death Prophet. On the Crystal Maiden, we have Chernobyl Kinsman, followed by
Radiant
on
has
the
fortified
Druid.
its structures.
And finally, we have the Captain Bassoon, who's going to be taking up the role of the Shadow Shaman. So we're going to see possibly a more support role of the Shadow Shaman in this game.
And for the Dire, starting from the top lane down, we have Dare to Jammin on the Tiny. Roaming to mid now, we have Sector on the Pugna. Just coming out of Fountain, going bot lane, we have Rocco Siegfried on the Venomancer, Hungarian Skill on the Undying, and Gyrocopter in the level. So it is actually going to be a tri-lane. And we're going to see an off-lane Tiny. I like the tri-lane idea. Tri-lane is good. It's going to
30
be
seconds to battle.
It's going to be an absolute kill lane. These are two tri-lanes coming up against each other. I think having the off-lane Tiny is madness, really. This isn't a hero that can play in the off-lane at all. He doesn't have any escapes, really. He doesn't have any spammable skills. I mean, his Avalanche is such a mana-heavy skill, and Tiny doesn't have a large mana pool.
Now, just taking a look at this Tiny up the top, he is cutting away the trees. This kind of looks like it's a design for something. Is this kind of some new meta where he's able to trap creeps here? Is he doing it just to waste time? And we do see the instance ward coming down here from the Dire team, which is a good position to actually start it out. People generally forget about that ward position right there, and then straight away another ward coming out blocking that bull camp.
We're going to see Bassoon take the DD off the Gyrocopter, which is a good snag by him. Chernobyl Kinsman roaming top, maybe looking for an early gank. He only has 3 Crystal Nova up though, so really he can't set up that much. I think he's just going to ward.
And I get the feeling now, Ingi up top on this Lone Druid, he's going to have the best time of his life. He's going to get all the farm he wants. And he's going to be an issue.
I mean, once this bear gets entangled up, he can go on the Tiny and look for a solo kill. But really, yeah, this should be Lone Druid's lane to win. We're going to see Crystal Maiden roam top. I wonder if it's going to be a dual lane. I think really what the Radiant need to do is, if they were planning on doing a dual lane, is identify that it's just going to be a lone Tiny and that they're going to be facing a tri-lane down bot, and they need to rotate that Crystal Maiden.
I do get the feeling that this Crystal Maiden is possibly going to stay there till level 2, possibly look about getting a kill, and then she needs to get down bot and needs to be a nuisance pretty much. Thinking about this Pugna he's already pushing the towers.
It's an interesting enough battle mid actually, because both heroes have very, very similar last hitting power in their damage, and their animation is quite similar. But also they have abilities to really push the lane with their with Crypt Swarm on the Dead Prophet and Nether Blast on the Pugna.
I kind of think though the Death Prophet kind of has that slight edge with the fact that it is ranged and it's instant on that Crypt Swarm. Taking a look at bodies,
certainly Prophet will be able to hit Pugna a lot more with it than Pugna will be able to in Nether Blast.
No, I really do disagree with this Crystal Maiden sitting up top. She doesn't need to be here. It's this lane is for the Lone Druid to win and get his experience and get his gold. She's just kind of wasting time, wasting experience there.
Yeah, I mean, and they're probably not gonna get a gank
Oh, we
off,
possibly might see.
on the Tony.
First blood.
We missed the kill then, bot. And that's a tombstone. This is what we were discussing. This is possibly going to be the second. The Juggernaut's going to go down as well. It's so much damage, so much slow, and that Crystal Maiden, she needs to make her way there, but she needs to be able to protect these carries.
Yeah, and she definitely should have roamed as soon as they saw the Tiny was on his own top, because I mean that is such a dangerous tri lane, but it's a dangerous tri lane on both sides. So what we really should be seeing is, you know, lots of kills coming out from both. But the problem with a tri lane versus a tri lane is if one tri lane gets a slight advantage, then the lane is completely lost. And if you persist on keeping heroes there, all you're doing is getting 3 heroes that are going to lose the lane rather than 1 or 2. So really, the next kill is crucial here. If another kill is given up by the Radiant here, then they've completely lost bot, and they need to consider rotating their lanes again.
Now this does, it feels like it was a very deliberate tri lane. They had this planned out. They instantly picked up that Undying. So I think they had it in mind. They were kind of flexible in who their carry was going to be, but they knew who they wanted. They wanted that Undying. They wanted that Venomancer.
Yeah, I mean, they're, you know, as we said, they're 2 great heroes because they both have slows, but they also have, you know, they can also put in a lot of work in terms of damage with Undying's Decay, and Venomancer is kind of everything really, his Gale, his wards, and then when he gets Poison Nova at 6. Just looking at the top lane, I think Ingi's doing this properly. Really, I think what he needs to be doing is harassing with the bear and last hitting with the Lone Druid. I mean, that's extremely difficult micro to do, in fairness. But I mean, if he can do it that way, then he forces Tiny out of the lane and also gets all the last hits he wants. And in fairness to him, he's trying and doing it well.
Taking a look at the last hits and denies, it's tied with the Death Prophet and the Lone Druid, both on the same team, closely followed by the Tiny on 12 last hits. Looking is then at 10, and this leaves the Gyrocopter with 6 and the Juggernaut with 3. Juggernaut's going to find it hard to keep up with this Gyrocopter.
And I think even crucially as well is not only is Death Prophet ahead in last hits, but she's also well ahead in denies. And if you check the experience for both heroes now, you can see that manifest. I mean, they're quite it's quite a ways apart, and it's only 4 minutes into the game really.
Definitely. Now I kind of think this is kind of going to go into the mentality of a player. The Radiant, they're afraid on bottom lane. You can kind of see it in how they're playing. They needed to get down there. They need to have the tri lane. They need to be aggressive earlier on. I don't think they're going to be aggressive. I don't think they're going to be pretty afraid to go in for kills. They know what can happen if they do go in for kills. That Tombstone can come out, those Wards can come out, that Venom's, or Poison Sink can come out, and then to follow it up by the Rocket Barrage. That's a lot of damage coming out their way.
Yeah, I mean, they need to be aware of screen engagement here. Undying's going to go in.
That's
way
Undying. Oh, this is possible. This is going to be 2. Just 1. Oh, and the Gyrocopter coming in, he's madness. He's after wasting his... The only problem is the Tombstone has been sitting down. They need to get rid of this Tombstone. This is the worst thing, and this is the Juggernaut's gone down. That's 2 kills. This is 3 kills. Huge mistakes.
That's huge.
That's the effect of that Tombstone. And that Gyrocopter happily took in those kills. He was very risky in coming back to try and get those last hits, but it worked out. That simple little stun we were talking about earlier on, saying it's not that great of a stun, just secured him a kill on that Juggernaut.
Yeah, well, I think the Juggernaut probably would have gone down anyway thanks to the Tombstone, but I mean, that is the danger of the Tombstone. I mean, see, the trouble with the Tombstone is you put it down in a team fight, and in a team fight, the last thing you're looking at, you're only focused on heroes, really. Yeah. So, but the Tombstone is almost the most deadly thing, in that whole engagement, and you really need to get that down extremely quickly, or move out of its radius. I think they picked up the Undying. Yeah. So they picked up the Undying really, really well there. The Undying got far too close. They got a kill. See the engagement here, the attack goes out.
This is, see, they can do the damage, and there's the Tombstone is down again, and they need to react better this time. They need to take, and they're ignoring it again. They need to focus down this Tombstone. They need to take it out. It's easy gold, and it just means that they can keep fighting. Look how many.
Amazing
this is possible. There we go. And that's a Tiny after getting a kill up top.
Yeah, I was watching top there. That's wait till this engagement's over.
And they risk losing this. No, it's okay.
Yeah, what happened top there was he was kind of forcing out the Tiny. He got an entangle on, did a lot of damage, but Tiny got a throw to bring down Lone Drew's health quite low, and then
Radiant's
started
top
running away.
tower
The
is
Lone
under
Druid pursued.
siege.
Tiny got a really, really good throw on his creep wave that were coming back to him. Threw it over a line of trees and hit the Lone Druid to finish the kill. It was a great kill.
But now we're going to see this is possibly going to help the Ingi catch up as he just has a lot of free farm coming his way there. Well, the
We're
Tiny
going
really
to
doesn't
see
have
an
anything.
Invis Pugna now roam bot.
This could be big. We're possibly going to see the wards dropping out, which is going to cause damage coming out from the Bassoon and the Crystal Maiden. So the Bassoon on the Shadow Demon, we're also going to see that drain life.
Dire's middle tower is
Has the
under
missing been
attack.
called? I wonder now. Are they cautious? Are they saying?
I don't think the missing has been called. They're not hooking the tower.
And they have no idea this is here.
This
This
could
is
be
probably
huge.
going to be another 3. And the experience, just taking a look before this, and there's the initiation with the tombstone. We see the slow coming out from the Venomancer. We also see the nether wards, nether explosion coming out, and it's two going down. The Gyrocopter comes in, he uses his barrage, he gets the damage, and this the lifesteal coming up on the Juggernaut, coming up, the stun is following up, the Peg Wars are following, zombies are following, the slows, the damage, the stuns. He's gone. There's nothing they can do.
No. Oh, we're going to see
Oh, and this is a great initiation, and that's one coming down, that's the Gyrocopter again. And can he get the Pugna? Pugna's going to explode and get the Juggernaut, but the that's proper, it's following the Pugna's doing the damage. And Pugna's gone the wrong way. Oh, and there we go, that's 2 down, that's going the way they wanted. Now the only problem is the Undying is still here. Death Prophet is going back mid, he's going to take up and get some gold off these. Does he see the Plague Ward? He gets the Plague Ward as well. Now, the Crystal Maiden doesn't need to be down here. She's done a lot of damage to him, but the only problem is she doesn't know where anyone else is. She is looking at the fact that there is no one else there, but she was quite out of position. She was on her
She
own.
needs to stop diving so far now. She's going right in. She hits the frostbite. Crystal
And
Nova's
this
up in two.
possibly
She
could
might
be
get
the
a
Craft
kill
Queen.
Here comes that
Oh, and
no,
not
she's
enough.
not gonna
Oh, she gets the kill.
does. A great pick off. She might
And here comes the slow. Can they protect? Can they keep the Crystal Maiden alive? She's so slow.
Oh,
Oh, and the Hex. And this is a great shackle. This is the pickup that they need. This is after putting just some of the and the Omni Slash coming in a little bit too early.
Yeah, the bounces.
I've been trying my best not to say this is what they need because it's my actual catchphrase that I seem to say all the time. So I'm going to try my best not to say it, but that's what they needed.
Some really huge plays there coming down bot. First off, obviously Death Prophet roaming and catching out so many kills, but then the Crystal Maiden diving. I thought she dove too far, but she got the pick off with a great, really well placed Crystal Nova, and then I think she was about to die. There was a Gyrocopter. She was on lowish, well not lowish, half health, and Gyrocopter was chasing her with no creeps around. He was going to rock a barrage, which would have finished her off. Then Bassoon came in, really great Hex to stop the Gyrocopter, and then they had to back up with the Death Prophet and the Juggernaut and cleaned up.
They don't spot out this Pugna that he's still sitting here. This is now the problem is with a mid hero like Pugna anyways, because he can be effective so early on, because he does have that big nuke in the form of the Nether Blast. It can be kind of tempting to sit in the lane like this, but he is doing his work. He's making and actually he's making an impact on these team fights. But we do also see that the Death Prophet, she's left, she's done, she's had enough fun in the bottom lane.
They're going to spot out the Pugna. The Juggernaut was the back there.
It's
But I
not an
think
engagement they want to take.
You can see here, I think, how both teams have recognised the importance of this tri-lane versus tri-lane. I think the winner of this tri-lane will come out with a massive advantage into the mid game. They're going to dive here. They need TPs.
They need a TP down and they need to get it up, but they're going to pick up one, they're going to pick up two, and every time the Undying, he is getting out that tombstone. That's what he needs to get out. But I feel that this Juggernaut, he could go on to that. Oh, this is very close. He could get on this Venomancer if he had his Omni Slash up, or even just had a speed boost, just a little bit of an attack.
Phase is coming up in two. But that's a smart play. I think that bottom lane now have been really let down by the rest of their team. The Dire went in so far there into the tower. If they had one or two more TPs in there, they would have cleaned up, absolutely cleaned up. And there's no excuse for a solo lone druid and a Death Prophet who's just gotten like 3 or 4 kills not to have a TP picked up. I mean, one TP there would have absolutely turned that fight around. And as we said before, this tri-lane is such an important matchup for this game, that those, winning a big team fight like that is absolutely crucial in this game. And to not have a TP is there's just no
There we go
excuse.
again, more fun down bottom. We see the wards are coming out, and this time it's doing huge damage. That's brilliant. That's the setup stun from the Frost bite, followed up by the shackles coming out from the Bassoon, and then just a little bit of damage coming out from that Juggernaut. Now this is going to push the lane. They're going to be able to get some damage down on this tower. tower, and they're kind of pulling it back into their favor now. Taking a look at the EXP graph, it's gone way up in the favor of the Radiant, nearly 3,000 verging on the 4,000. Looking at the gold graph, it's gone the same way. We see a Midas coming up on this lone druid on the top. He's happy. He's exactly where he wants. Now we do see this Death Prophet is keeping an eye out, and she's probably going to catch out this Tiny if they can rotate, if they can catch him. And here we go. This is the Pugna coming in. We're seeing some action up top. Can they get the lucky shackle coming out on this? This Tiny, they need to get out here. They need to recognize that this is here. And that's a stun.
Great avalanche. Great avalanche.
Oh, and the throw in followed up by the rocket barrage. Let's go take down the Iggy. Not what he wanted to see happen, but the only thing is, at least he got that Midas up and he's used it to charge. The only thing is he didn't get to spend any of that gold, and they really don't want to see this Iggy going down because he's kind of needs to be able to carry it. We do see a wasted rocket barrage.
Radiant's top
We don't see any
tower is
TPs
being
on. No, we
attacked.
see one TP. One TP on the supports.
Radiant's top
What we saw
tower
there
has
was
fallen.
what happened there was like exactly the opposite of what happened down bot. Ingi and Paisley War Chariot went in to get a kill, and Tiny and Pugna were pretty much isolated. If it was a 2-on-2, they definitely would have lost that fight. But they got 2 immediate
Radiant's middle
TPs in,
tower
and they
is
managed to
under
turn the
siege.
fight into a kill.
Yeah.
And that's what the Radiant need to be doing. I mean, they're TPing in now, but I think they're going to go
Radiant's
for
middle
it.
tower is under attack.
Yeah. This I feel is kind of a
yes.
desperation play, is that
Oh,
you
that was a
feel like
great
that you should have
map,
TP'd up. And you can see is that the lone druid, he's done the smart thing, he's
happening
left.
here then?
He's not going back up top. He knows that
Yeah,
the mistakes were made, so he's going back and he's getting back to his farm.
I don't think it's desperation. I think this is the smart move now. They have 2 really offensive ults. Death Prophet and Shadow Shaman's ults are both amazing at pushing and taking towers. So we're probably going to see the Shadow Shaman drop down his ults
This is
as
TP top
as
and
well
this is
now.
rotation top as well.
And
so
they're going to look to take this tower.
Yeah. With these ults that they
won't
have.
even need.
Dire
won't even need.
structures.
Oh, it's a great call down. They're going in. They're doing damage. That's the Gyrocopter going down. Oh, and he gets away. And that's the Venom Monster going down to the Juggernaut. That's brilliant. We see the Tiny's coming in. He's going to get up some good damage. And this is caught by the Shackle from the Captain Pursuit. But the only problem is that the damage is there from the tower. And we get an Omni Slash coming out. Can the Juggernaut, can he do enough damage just to take down this? And the explosion comes out. The Nether Ward is doing the damage. The wards are going to catch out that Pugna. And that's brilliant. That's... Yeah, I'm going to give it to the Radiant there. That's
Really
a good
great
engagement.
positioning from the Juggernaut there. He saw the call down come down, but instead of backing, he actually went into the fight, and he had Blade Fury. And as we see at the moment, Gyrocopter is just melting on the Juggernaut, and he went in. He said, "I'm not going to back off here. I'm an aggressive hero. I'm going to be aggressive." He went in. The Gyro went down straight away.
Yeah.
And if you can take the Gyro out at the beginning of the fight, you're taking quite a lot of damage. I don't think the Gyro even got a rocket barrage up, or if he did, it didn't hit anyway.
Position for it anyway.
Yeah, so really great positioning there from the Juggernaut, and then of course the bassoon was very wise. He knew the tower at the top tower was going to go down. He didn't need to use his wards. The ult from War Chariot was going to do it. So he saved the wards, and then he was proven right with that choice. The wards came out in the team fight and cleaned up.
Exactly, and it was a great initiation from that Crystal Maiden just before she absolutely exploded. But she got that frostbite out on that Gyrocopter, which allowed the Juggernaut to get in there and get his full duration of that Battle Fury. Yeah, and they're going in again, bot. And this is the smart move. The Pugna can't get away. What's he going to do? He can turn. He can possibly decrepify, but there we go. This is a Decrepify and the Life Drain as well, but it gets broken.
Yeah, that was a good call from Habdashri Damson to pull back. He was getting very close to the tier 2 there, and the tier 2 does quite a lot of damage at this level. So, force the Pugna back, do some damage to him, that's fine, and then back.
And they're going to push this tower, and
attacked.
they do not have the glyph for this, so this is going to do a lot of damage. It's possibly going to take down the tower. I'm being a little bit apprehensive here.
Yeah, the ult was popped far too early there. He needed to wait until the creep wave came. But I mean, it's a good idea. You have the ult. She's great at pushing towers early. So absolutely be offensive, but just wait until the creep wave gets there before you do it.
And they're going in, that's the tombstone going down. And I think that tombstone, unless they're really hard pushing that tower, that's a bit of a waste. Because they can easily get away from this and they can fight quite comfortably. And that's going to be the Undying. It's going to have to lose its life for that. And their drain, the drain launch coming out was great. And the wards come out, that's a huge reward. The only problem is the Venomancer did get off his ult, but I don't know if it really caught anyone else. It's caught the Death Prophet. She hasn't used his ult, so there's no healing coming out.
No, it was a really good ult when they were going to see the
catch
Juggernaut.
That's a great throw from the Tiny as well, catching that out.
Yeah, I think the Shackle into Blade Fury is a really good
Radiant's
combination,
top
and we're
tower
seeing
is under
these heroes
attack.
use it
Dire's
very
bottom
well in this
tower
game.
is under
But
attack.
they didn't need to go in there. the tombstone was put down. We saw a lot of TPs come down.
Dire's bottom tower is being attacked.
Death Prophet's ult was just finished. I mean,
Yeah.
they just needed it back there, go back to the safety of the tower, get away from the tombstone, and then take the fight if they keep pushing. But they stayed in. The Venomancer got his ult off, the Gyro got a big call down, and they cleaned up.
I think it was a kind of a will we, won't we. Like, I think the Juggernaut had popped his Battle Fury. He was using that defensively to get away. And they kind of felt like that we can possibly go in here when they had got out of range of that Tombstone. When Tombstone goes down, get away from it. Fight where you're comfortable. You don't need to stay that. And we're going to see a wraparound down bot. And this is probably is going to be the death of this Crystal Maiden. She doesn't need to be here. She's completely out of position and they can easily dive on top of her.
Yeah, she doesn't have a TP either.
And
Gale's going to ground catch her. Strange Gale. Strange way to go in.
And this is the Venomancer coming in, just throwing in. Tiny doesn't care. He'll throw his TP. This is brilliant. They're after turning it. They're after catching it there. And they're after catching it. Someone is. We have the poor Undying is stuck in here. Fair enough, he got out that Tombstone, but it's going to go down pretty quick. And he's stuck. And he catches the shack up. The only problem is he's kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place with that Tombstone, just spawning at those zombies. But the Tombstone will go down, the zombies will disappear, and the captain soon will be fine.
Juggernaut popped the Omni Slash there, but Tiny had the Shadow Blade, so it was completely wasted on him.
Radiant's middle tower is under siege.
We're going to see now 2,670 gold now picked up from the Lone Druid, so he's obviously rushing a Radiance. But this is good. I mean, the Lone Druids picked up the Midas. He's their hard carry. I don't think really the Dire don't have any heroes that can stand up to a fully farmed Lone Druid. Really, maybe a Gyrocopter, but the Gyrocopter has been too busy participating in fights.
Gyrocopter would need a Satanic up, I think, if you had any chance of trying to keep them against that Lone Druid.
Through this whole time, they've been 5-manning. We're going to see a Tiny Shadow Blade in here.
This is good. This is what the Tiny needs to be doing. But I think he's kind of wasted his opportunity there. He didn't have his team to back up, and he is in very deep. He can only do so much.
His positioning here it's risky, but I think he should be fine. They're going to hug the tower and get it right.
Now, in the senses, when we saw up at this tier 1 tower for the Dire, we saw the defensive Tombstone coming out. I think that the Radiant have far more defensive tools that they have at their disposal. They have those wards coming out, they have that Exorcism coming out from the Death Prophet. You don't want to push if those two are up. You can't stay in.
Their positioning hints otherwise. I think their positioning is very
the Tiny's coming in, he's showing at the stun. And that's brilliant.
Strange.
And they have lost that tower because of that. And this is now this is revenge. They want to get up, they want to use that ult, they want to get in, and they want to do some damage. But they don't need to. They don't need to.
The ult was popped far too early there once again.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
I think the ult is something really you can wait until you pop the silence and then do it. It's an instant ult. There's no point in using it early and running in. Plus, especially since we don't see the phase boots out on the Death Prophets, he has opted for the arcane boots.
Yeah, he's going to go arcane boots into Bloodstone. I think he's going to
into phase more than likely. And Ingy is doing the right thing. This Lone Druid, he knows what he has to do. He doesn't care what's going on. He's happy to just sit here and farm, and that's the right move. Like you said, what's their answer to a farmed Lone Druid who's been let sit farm with a Midas for we're reaching the 20-minute mark? He could happily stay there for another 20 minutes, and he'll come back and he'll just do so much damage. And this is a catch it. Where was he going? He was completely out of position. We do see the initiation coming in from the call down. That's in Captain Bassoon. Fair enough, he is getting these shackles, but he doesn't need to be there. He did drop the wards, and look at this. This is Ingy's rotating at the perfect time. He gets the ensnare come off, killing out down that Gyrocopter. And this is what they need. Fair enough, they lost one, but they took down 3.
Yeah, it was a great rotation by Ingy coming in from the jungle. I don't think they expected that at all. The call down did catch 4 heroes, so it was a great call down. But I mean, this is now this is where the Dire really need to be worried. I mean, they're practically 5-manning against 4 heroes, and they're not really coming out with big results. And this Lone Druid has just been kind of in the jungle and getting farm, building up. He's got now 4,200 gold. He's going to get a Radiance.
I'd say he could even walk into that secret shop right now and pick up the Sekrit relic if he wanted.
Yeah.
And this tower's gone down again. Again, don't think they needed that ult. I think that's wasted.
Tower has been destroyed.
Yeah.
Tiny is down bot. He's going to be putting pressure on this bottom tower, but
being attacked.
It can easily be defended.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
We're going to see a mechanism on the Shadow Time. This is going to be a huge pickup now if Ingy does decide to go back.
Top tower
but I mean,
is
I
under
think
siege.
their whole strategy now is just to keep pushing towers. They do have a farmed up bear. Obviously, the Lone Druid is extremely good at pushing towers, and the mechanism is going to keep them in the fight, give them all a bit more armor, and just make the tower pushing a little bit more easy. And the Bloodstone picked up on the Death Prophet.
And the Battle Fury is up on the Juggernaut. These are a lot of core items coming up on these heroes. Now, we have seen since the recent change of the latest patches that Juggernaut can actually use items. I still have yet to see a Mask of Madness Juggernaut, and it is something I want to see.
Have you not seen that yet? No?
I haven't seen it used yet, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. That has the tower going away
tower
now.
has been
I've
destroyed.
only played him once and I picked it up. It's actually quite nice, really, because the duration of Mask of Madness pretty much.
Oh, this is the call down. They're possibly going to catch it. This Juggernaut on down. That's a great Blade Fury to take off the damage, and he's going to just look melting heroes. That Tiny's gone down. Great catch from the Crystal Maiden. Ward's coming out. Brilliant damage. The Venomancer does his ult, but it's too late. Oh, look at that damage. And they're going to catch out this Undying. Like, what can he do? He can slowly waddle away. He can do his decay, but it's not enough.
Really, I really
Oh, and
wonder
they
what the
back out.
gyrocopter. I really wonder what the gyrocopter and the Venomancer were thinking there. I mean, that fight was clearly lost, but they stayed in. They tried to make it work. But really great. I mean, we're seeing it again on Habdashari Demon or Danson rather. He knows exactly when to be aggressive and when not to. I mean, the call down came down and there were 3 heroes around him against 1, but he knew his team was close by. He knew if he Blade Furied, he wasn't going to get too much damage done to him. The call down was going to do nothing. So he went aggressive instead of running away from the 3 arrows, and then obviously the rotation came in.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, this is a better ult coming out of the way of the Death Prophet.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what they're doing. They seem to be using the Death Prophet as an ult to knock down towers, but then
I think that's their push timer. So they're not going to push another tower now for another 75 seconds.
But interesting enough,
if our
they're
theory's
also
right.
they're keeping the Serpent Wards for team fights. Which is working out really well for them. These wards are cleaning up in team fights. They're not being used to push towers because, I mean, I suppose that's fair enough. They already have a really strong pushing lineup, especially now the Lone Druid seems to be coming with the 5-man.
And that radius
So
is
they
on
don't
that
need
there.
wards really to take.
Now, the only reason why I can kind of see is that they're going for the Exorcism for being the pushing tool over the
Dire's
wards is
top
that
tower is being
we do see
attacked.
that the Soon is quite squishy. The Shadow Shaman is he can die pretty quick, whereas the Death Prophet is so hardy. So him saving his
Dire's
wards for the
top
team fights
tower
where he
is
can just
under
drop it,
attack.
and if he dies, so be it. Versus the
Dire's
Death
top tower has
the Death
been
Prophet who can push
destroyed.
those lanes with just as well with her ult. I kind of see what they're doing with it.
Yeah, it's working out for them now. I think the Dire were thinking about doing a Roshan there, which would have been spotted out. They've de-warded,
Yeah.
but I don't think they're. I think this really strong push coming top is kind of worrying them here.
I would
Dire's
just see
top
taking a
tower
look
is
at
under attack.
that's the tower's going to be gone. Taking a look at the Gyrocopter, all he has up is
Dire has
speed AP.
fortified
This is a
its
huge
sections.
call down. Not doing necessarily all the damage needed, but they did get in that. Oh, here comes the Rocket Barrage. They'll do a lot of damage to 2 of those heroes. There is a lot of heroes in the way though. He can't. Oh, and he has been decrepified. The only problem is they have lost the Gyrocopter to that. He went for a mad dive, and they're going to take out that Bugner. This is great. You can just see the damage that's coming out the way of this Juggernaut. He's able to just easily cleave through,
Dire's
killing that
top
Bugner,
barracks is
who's
being attacked.
happily sucking away at his life. We did lose the Venomancer as well, just that, and the GG is called.
Dire's top
Kinsman obviously got
barracks
thrown
has
in
been
by the Tiny,
destroyed.
which is a great play. It's something I do like to see. It's a little fun
Is
maneuver.
under attack. Dire's
Quite
top
an early
barracks
GG
has
calling out there.
fallen.
And I think this is
Yeah.
just due to. Well, I want to say that the tri lane that did come down from the Dire, I think, was actually stronger. They seem to be initiating better. They were doing a lot more damage. But what's the answer to a Gyrocopter, or sorry, to a Juggernaut? He just needs to get a little bit of farm up, and he can be relevant.
I mean, I think the tri lane. I mean, up until the rotation from the Death Prophet, I think they were certainly losing that. But and then what we saw was the tri lane. You know,
Radiant's
when the
middle
lane
tower is
phase
under
ended, the
attack.
tri lane was still
This
really
should be
potent in team fights.
interesting.
You know, I don't know how many times I've seen a Frostbite into Crystal Nova, into Shackles, into Blade Fury
Radiant's
kind of
middle
hero.
tower is
I
being
think that's
attacked.
happened to Undying at least 3 times, and they absolutely melt. And that's one hero gone so quickly.
Yeah.
And then you have the Serpent Wards, and you have
Radiant's
the
bottom tower is under
the Exorcism
siege.
coming out from Death Prophet, and they really can't do much to this 4-man. And this is a 4-man team, so that's not even, you know, talking about the Lone Druid, who's, you know, obviously an extremely strong carry. So they were managing to hold off the whole of the Dire just with the 4 of them, giving the Lone Druid time to farm. And then once the Lone Druid got his Radiance, they all started pushing together, and then once they started 5-manning, as you could see in that team fight top, they got a good call down. But, you know, no initiation, I don't think, can do it for them anymore. The heroes are just too strong.
Yeah, definitely. Now we do see a little bit of a smack talk coming out now, and this is coming out from the Dire. I think it's kind of is it to try and bait them out so that they try and say no, we're not just pusher noobs, and they try and engage and they over-engage and they actually lose themselves to it.
I think it's just a bit of smack talk. We're going to see an engagement against a good Avalanche. I think this Tiny's probably been
Oh, and that's a huge snare. But straight away as he gets out with that BKB. But that BKB he's picked up so early, he's no damage to back it up. I think it's wasted. He's wasting charges. Even if they had a chance of coming back into this game, using that BKB is not the way to do it.
No, I think the BKB was definitely needed because the amount of damage that was coming out
Dire's bottom tower is being attacked.
from the 4-man push. I mean, fair enough, it's not going to do much against Exorcism, but you know, it stops Blade Fury, it stops Crystal Nova, it stops most things that Shadow Shaman will do, except for his wards, really. So it was need to be picked up, but really what he needed to do was just get a bit more farm. But instead, he joined the 5-man push to try and stop the 4-man of the Radiant, and it just wasn't working. And then we see a severely underfarmed Jar.
That's the Pug has gone down just from that ult alone from the Death Prophet. And
I feel
this tower's going down.
that's been happening, I think, so often. You see one hero of the Dire get a little bit out of position, and they're immediately punished either by the Blade Fury or the Frostbite or the Shackle or the Hex. Immediately punished.
But that Pugna,
it's really great pickoffs by the support.
Pugna, he definitely deserved it for walking in through, coming around this way. It makes no sense. You have a base there. You have walls that are there to keep you safe. Why would you run the other way? And you can see they're just running with their tails between their legs. There's nothing really they can do here. That's a double kill coming out the way of the Death Prophet. The Juggernaut's just happy out to sit here and just take the tower on his own. They are very low, but at the same time, they don't care.
No, I mean there's nothing the Dire can do to stop this game now. This is completely over.
And we're going to say this is going to be a straight push, and that's we're going to say that's definitely a rage quit right there.
Dire's bottom barracks is under
He knows that
attack.
the game is over in less than 5 minutes, so why would he want to stay there and see his inevitable defeat?
Has been destroyed.
This they're coming in again. And that's the Hex. Oh, that's a brilliant Hex coming into the... Oh, this is just brilliant play by the supports. Right on top of it.
Of what I was talking about. Tiny gets a little bit out of position and he's immediately punished by the supports.
Yeah, they've been so on the ball with these shutdown spells.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you look at the last hits, we see, you know, the Lone Druid on 120, the Tiny on 136. I think the Tiny has been boosted a little bit from the Cleave from the Agnums, and the Avalanche and such pushing back waves, but like 44 on the Gyrocopter, 91 on the
Dire's middle
Juggernaut.
tower is under siege.
This game is just,
You know, it's another take. Look, straight away, as you said, that Pugna tried to commit to do a little bit of damage. Boom, straight away, that Frostbite is coming out and keeping him right there. That's the throne going down.
Yeah, it's just been such an aggressive game, but the aggression worked absolutely
Dire's
perfectly
Ancient is
for the
under
Dire.
attack.
They had they had the 4-man against the 5-man, so you know, even if you can stay in the game and you know you have a carry farming, but they didn't just stay in the game. They pushed towers as a 4. They took down towers, and purely because of the team fights, because of the catches by Shadow Shaman and by Crystal Maiden, the ults by the Death Prophet, the silences by the Death Prophet, and just the general aggression of the Juggernaut, and that gave Ingi plenty of space to farm. And in fairness, he took the farm, he got up Radiance, and as soon as he got one big item, they went and they said, right, let's 5-man because we can take this game. And you know, game's over in 29 minutes. If a game's over in that amount of time, you know it's been an absolutely clinical performance, and this is what this game has been. It's been clinical. Then, you know, they had a plan, they stuck to it, and it came off for them big time.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say kudos to both the supports on the Crystal Maiden and the Shadow Shaman. Had a great game there. Even taking a look as well on the Dire team, where always seem to be focused on the guys in the Radiant team. They seem to do very well in receiving the man of the match. But I do feel that the Undying and the Venomancer, they had a great game as well. They were on the ball with those tombstones and with the poison stings. I kind of feel is that they need that Gyrocopter just didn't get anything out of that lane. Like, looking at his items compared to the Juggernaut, fair enough, the Juggernaut did get a lot more farm in the sense that they were getting more kills. But the Gyrocopter, they got the first kills. I think they even got the second kills as well. And all he has is a BKB in a phase. It's not enough.
Yeah, but it's no surprise that the two most farmed heroes are the Tiny and the Lone Druid, because they're the two heroes that stayed out of the ridiculous fights that were going on bot, and, you know, got their farm. And, you know, that works perfectly well for, you know, people like Crystal Maiden, people like Shadow Shaman, Pugna, Venomancer. But, you know, for heroes like Juggernaut and for heroes like Gyrocopter, it really depends on, you know, who is winning the tri-lane to snowball out. And you could see, you know, from what happened to the Juggernaut, it was obvious that the tri-lane went to the Radiant. Now, mostly because of the rotations from the Death Prophet. I think that lane was being lost, and the Death Prophet rotated down and got some good kills, put some pressure on, and then really they abandoned the tri lane very, very early. They started 4-manning, and then it became a 4 against 5, and I think that's really when the Radiant started to snowball. They were winning those 4v5 team fights, they were taking towers, and that's how the money really came rolling in for the Juggernaut. And then when the Tiny and the Lone Druid joined the fight, well, the Tiny joined the fight first, and didn't really do that much, helped in a few ganks, but really couldn't change the game. And then it was 4v5 for a while, and then eventually, finally, the Lone Druid joined the fight, and that was really the straw that broke the camel's back. Once the Lone Druid was in, that was game over.
Definitely, definitely. So in a game where we saw a burning bear carrying a flaming sword, we saw temperatures rise, we saw some aggravation coming out towards the end of the game. It is always hard to find out when you're actually losing the game. But it is another great game of Dota we have watched. This is myself, Gus, from That's Dota, joined today by Mark. Mark, thanks so much for coming today, and hopefully we'll have you back again.
Great, thanks.